Turn the hand round enough so the pick isn't going to spoil like good work you did. Keep the pick slightly out of the way.
Who has a problem with that bend vibrato? I find a lot of people, you're sort of doing it, I find a lot of people, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is my own kind of history and my own thing. I find that you often see people trying to bend strings like that. Like that. You've lost. How do you do it?
Yeah. It starts out at an angle.
Yeah, it comes around. Yeah, it does. Yeah. No, but hopefully by then you've got it supportive and other things behind it. People also you see them it's hopeless. You've got no chance. It's like a weightlifter trying to do the same thing. So I would say start with it to the side, like that. If you look at that, I mean I'm bending the 8th fret with this finger, but that finger is pushing up as much as the string.
I've never used more than one finger to bend.
Oh, you have to, you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Your fingers will collapse otherwise. Sometimes if you're doing, if I was doing that kind of bend, I have 3 fingers.
You want to be underneath it. It's going to be so much easier to keep the thing aloft with your whole weight underneath it rather than trying to support it like that. I think the same thing with the bend. You want your fingers to be underneath the garage door, kind of propping it up with the whole weight of the finger as much as possible directly underneath and opposing the string's desire to come back to where it was. B flat, G jazz. The knuckles almost behind the fretboard, so as Neville says, the opposite of trying to do that. That would peel the nail away from your fingertip, amongst other things.
Yeah, pick your finger. Then you move it round like that, so you're under the garage door.
Yeah.
Then you've got the power, plus you're supporting it with, you've got 2 mates helping you hold up the garage door as well, so your life's so much more easy.
Well, the fingertip's job is to keep the string pushed down onto the fret and apply slight tension, either upwards or downwards, and then hold that tension. That's all your finger has to do. Everything else, if I exaggerate it, you can see it's more of a so much from the wrist. You try and so try this. You take that string, bend it slightly sharp, hold it there, and then lock your fingers in that shape, and then try and get that kind of motion going slightly with your wrist. And then the challenge is to translate what your wrist is doing onto the string. So it's just experimenting with where your thumb is, where your wrist is, and keep pushing those fingers into the fretboard and make sure you can always feel a bit of resistance from the string.
It's also quite interesting, I thought more Guthrie where things are actually coming from, so if you reverse that and think, okay, that's the thing I've got to use. But as you say, if it's that, nothing's going to happen. Nothing will ever happen. All you'll end up doing is your fingers end up shaking your arm. It's got to be the other way around. It's got to sort of come. But then again, it's hard to intellectualise these things. I mean, I've only got a vibrato because I heard Eric Clapton being interviewed and they said, what's the hardest technique to learn on the electric guitar? And he said, it's the finger vibrato, and he did that. And I thought, okay, that's the thing I want to work on, and somehow, I don't know how, I managed to learn how to do it.